So for them not to know how to help me was just, I think, the hardest part. And like, I just wasn't myself. I was like a completely different person, I felt like. And they saw it too. They just saw me like, I normally am like a very happy-go-lucky, easygoing, like positive person. I was just like, not okay. After 2 weeks, I was like, I'm going to go insane. I'm literally going to go insane. I don't know what to do. Every night's like a struggle. Every night going to bed, like the thought of going to bed, the thought of my bedroom just made me like panic and like freak out and not even want to go. And I literally like, I don't know if, like I'm spiritual and I at the moment, like in that time, I was just like, please send me something to help me. Like, I don't know what to do to get out of this. And that night, it was the first video that popped up. And literally, as soon as I started listening, I just like deep dived, like pretty much watched every video I could, recovery video. I was like, oh my God, I'm not alone. Like, there's other people that feel this way. I'm not crazy. Like, I slept 9 hours that night.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another very special episode of Talking Insomnia. We have Maria with us today. We're so happy that you agreed to be a guest and share your story with our community. And I'm sure we'll just have so much insights here. So let's go ahead and just dive right in and get started. Maria, do you want to share with us just how your insomnia journey started and just to take us through it?
Yeah. I'm so happy to be here after going through it and being able to share my story. So, it all started, well, really, I think my whole life I've had health anxiety, and I've been like kind of a hypochondriac. Like, I always worry about my health. I've always been very super in tune with my body and very just kind of like a planner, just checking off the boxes of what everyone's been talked about throughout the channel and everything. So my whole life I've had anxiety issues and kind of worked through it. I went through like a bad part in my early 20s where I was having almost like a more panic disorder situation going on. But I read a couple of books and like really educated myself through it. And that helped a little bit back then. So I knew like somewhat of how to get out of it, but that was like the beginning kind of it all. My anxiety getting worse back then. But then this was completely different than anything I've ever experienced before. It actually happened in April. So this past April.
So April of this year, of
yeah,
2024.
April of this year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I went on a girls' trip to Florida. And leading up to it, I had been a little bit stressed out. Sometimes with my anxiety, I don't realize it's kind of happening. And then all of a sudden, it just, I have a panic attack or something out of the blue. So trying to be more in tune with my body and my mind. But I really wasn't. And I was a little stressed out about the trip in general, just because it was kind of during a time where I was like, I don't really want to go. Like, I'd like to just stay home and work and, be at home and things like that. I'm kind of a homebody in general. But I was going and I went to Florida, and the first night we were there, I was just a little nervous and a little anxious, and we were having fun and everything, but we had been drinking a lot and like not eating great. And when I do that, I also get my anxiety heightens. And so it actually happened Saturday night when we were there. We had drank and went out and had fun. It was great. And then in the middle of the night, I woke up and like my heart was racing, and I just started like having like palpitations and just like, the whole panic attack type of situation again. And I was like, I need to sleep. Like, I have to go back to sleep. I have a big day tomorrow, because we were all hanging out again tomorrow, and then getting on a flight on Monday. And it was just like, over the top of me, just, I don't know, just getting in my head about it. And I was not feeling good either, just because we had drank and eaten not that great all weekend and things like that. So I think, yes, we were on vacation mode, which normally is fine. But when I'm away from like home and my normal routines and things like that, on top of that, I get a little in my head about everything. And so that's what kind of started it all. So I woke up at midnight, started freaking out, like, I need my heart, something's wrong with me, all the whole thing. Had a full-blown panic attack that lasted pretty much like 4 or 5 hours. where I just like could not get out of my own way about it. Woke all my friends up, tried to have them talk me down. Finally, the next morning, after not sleeping at all from like midnight on, I was just awake and felt terrible and still having like shakiness from the panic attack. And basically, that's what started it all. The next day was really rough of me just like trying to calm down. But then I started really worrying that I wasn't going to sleep again that night. And I just started freaking myself out all day. I was like, I didn't sleep last night. I could not sleep. I don't know what was wrong with me. Like, after drinking all day yesterday, I need to sleep tonight to get on my flight the next morning. That was like a 3 a.m. flight and all these things. So I just started freaking out again about it. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed at like 7 o'clock tonight. All my friends stayed up because we were still in Florida and they all having fun. I like made myself go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then I ended up laying there for like, I would say like 3 hours until everyone else started going to bed. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to sleep. Like, still not sleeping. Finally, I did fall asleep around like 11:30, like 12 midnight. So I was like, okay, I had some sleep. I'll be fine when I woke up for the airport. And then got home, was still kind of like felt weird after that. Like I just kind of had it in my brain, like I need rest. Like I have not slept as much as I should. I wasn't eating well. Like as soon as I'm not being like healthy, I get kind of anxious and I'm like, I need to get back into like exercising and not drinking and eating healthy and all the things and just putting that pressure on myself on top of getting enough sleep. And
Right.
obviously we've always heard that like, get sleep. You need sleep to survive and you need sleep to be healthy and not die. Everything. So I got in my head that whole week a little bit more each night. I had like one good night the first night, and then my husband's brother was coming into town 2 days later for like a get together, which was kind of a lot after like my girls trip. I just wanted some time to like get back to me and my routines and everything. So they came down and hung out. Another late night, all hanging out. That night, I did not sleep at all again. And so it just kind of perpetuated into this worrying about sleeping the next night, and then the next night. And then Friday night, I had, like about a week later, I had a great night's sleep finally. Like I was like, oh, I got like 9 hours of sleep. That awesome. I think I'm cured. Like I'm good. And then I had a great day the next day, felt so great, like went on a run, like was just in a great mood. And then that night I slept, that was my first night where I got zero sleep, none at all, laid away all night long. And that was like the beginning of the end of all that, like the beginning of the
The
craziness.
start of the insomnia
Yeah, the start of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this still April timeframe? Are we still in
Yes.
April? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it was like about a week time frame of all of that happening.
Okay.
So it was
Cool.
pretty quick. Like it was like panic
it
attacks.
can happen fast. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it just spiraled for me after that. Like I went into this like dark hole of just, I don't know what is going on with me. I knew it had to do with anxiety because I felt that, like I've been there before. So like I knew it was familiar, but I've never navigated that before. And like, I read a book called At Last a Life by Paul David in my 20s and my early 20s. And that really helped me with my panic issues at the time and like depersonalization, all that stuff that I had experienced then. So I had like knowledge of it. And there was a part of it, there was like a small paragraph in there that I kept trying to reread that had to do with sleep. It was like, I went back to that book and I was like, something's wrong with me. Like it's anxiety, it's gotta be anxiety. But I guess so I kind of knew, but I didn't know how to navigate it at all. And I kept reading it and it was like, allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to go through it. And I was like, I'm trying, I just can't, like, I literally can't.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare. Like it was just, as everyone else talks about, it was just terrifying. Like I felt so alone. I thank God my husband's amazing. And like every night I would just like lay awake and there were nights where I like had terrible panic attacks to the point where I was wake him up and I'd be like, I need to go to the hospital. Something's wrong with me. Like my heart, and then I went back to my health anxiety kind of relating to it. So he would like lay awake with me, and then he would like hold me, and then I'd like fall asleep really early in the mornings. Like sometimes it's kind of like that surrender sleep.
Surrender sleep, yeah.
Hmm.
Did you end up going to the doctor? Going to
I
your
did.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I actually called my doctor, and she was super busy, as all doctors are, but I was like desperate, and she's like, okay, we can make an appointment about a month from now. And I was like, that's not going to work. Like, I need to do something now.
Right.
So, and mind you, like going back too, I had tried everything. I tried melatonin, I bought CBD gummies, like I tried, all the things that you shouldn't do, basically, like over the top blackout shades, sleepy sounds, like anything that would make me like zen out and try to sleep. Sleep efforts, pretty much everything you can think of. I tried teas. So after I tried all of that and none of that worked, and I had lied awake, this was probably the whole month of May was really rough. Like about a month long period, a month and a half. It was like April, May, June were my hardest months. At the end of April, May, and then all of June. But this was like around the end of May, and after having like countless panic attacks, wanting to go to the hospital in the middle of the night, didn't go, which is good. But going through all of that, I finally got a hold of the doctor, and she had a video call with me, and I told her my issues. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't sleep. I'm trying to sleep. I literally can't sleep. I've never had issues with sleeping. Like before this, I've been able to really sleep anywhere. Like we camp a lot, stuff like that. I can sleep pretty much any time, anywhere.
Right.
So I was like, something's wrong. Like I don't know if it's a malfunction in my brain or my body. Like I don't know what, my nerves, something's wrong. So she was telling me that, it sounds like you have to take something that will help you just like get your sleep so that you can reset, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
she actually prescribed me Ambien
Mm-hmm.
and then Ativan. Or no, she actually prescribed me Ambien first. And I got freaked out because I've never heard, like, Ambien just sounded very like intense. I was like, I've never taken anything really. Like I don't really love to take medicine in general, besides like ibuprofen or Advil. And I was like, I don't want to take Ambien. Like then I started Googling it. Of course, the side effects are like hallucinations. You're gonna drive your
Never do
car.
the Google, right?
I know, so bad. So I was like in my head about that, on top of the fact that I've never taken it, and I'm super like self-aware, like tune into my body clearly. So I knew, I was like, if I take Ambien, like I'm not even gonna sleep, and then I'm just gonna have worse panic attacks because I'm gonna be like on something that will make me feel weird. And so I actually messaged her back, and I was like, I need something for anxiety, not sleep. Like I need help with my anxiety. That's what's the main thing, I think. And she said, okay. So she prescribed me Ativan, which I've never taken before. But I was like desperate. I was like, okay, like that sounds a little bit more my speed, I think, for, I don't know, not having like hallucinations and making myself more anxious. So that night after I got it, I took an Ativan, and it actually helped. It made me calm down in the moment. Like I was able to kind of just like, calm myself down, not have as much panic before bed. I still did a little bit, but I slept. It was more of like a hyper sleep type of
Yeah.
situation where I was like sleeping, but not fully sleeping, like one eye open type of situation. So that was like, okay, but I was like, this isn't like, I don't want to have to take Ativan every night, like, or every day even. It's not good. So in my mind, I was like, there's something else that's, there's got to be something else. And so then after that, we had a trip planned. We go to Cape Cod a lot. I live in Massachusetts. We go to Cape Cod a lot, and my mom has a house there. So we had this trip planned, and this was in like the deep part of it all, like where I was just not doing okay. And my family knew, but
Like May,
sorry, what?
June timeframe now, right?
Yeah, like May, June. Yes, like the end of
Okay.
May, I think it was.
Okay.
Or no, maybe beginning of June now. And
Okay.
so we had the trip planned. My family knew what was going on, but like didn't really know how to help me. And that was really hard for everybody. Like my husband was like, I don't know what to do. Like I've been trying to help at night, but like nothing's working. And, I'm worried. And then obviously when he says I'm worried, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm worried too. I'm freaking out now. And then my whole family, my mom, my aunt, who I'm really close with, who's like a second mom to me, she was really worried. She normally is able to like save me on anything really. Like, they've known about my anxiety issues my whole life. So like, they're kind of my go-to people. And like
Right.
my dad too. My dad has had anxiety his whole life too. So like he was someone that I went to throughout the whole process, but nobody could help me through it. Like it was something that every time I said what was going on, they would say like they didn't know what to do, which I get. Like they don't know. I didn't know. It's all about educating yourself and
Yes, it's
learning.
so misunderstood, right? Insomnia and the whole
Yeah.
experience. Yeah.
So for them not to know how to help me was just, I think, the hardest part. And like, I just wasn't myself. I was like a completely different person, I felt like. And they saw it too. They just saw me like, I normally am like a very happy-go-lucky, easygoing, like positive person, I feel like. I hope, like I'd like to say. And I was just like not okay. So they saw that. We went on this trip, and that's when I got really bad, and I just didn't sleep. After that trip, I didn't sleep for, I would say, like maybe 2 hours of sleep a night for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 hours of sleep a night, maybe that. And after 2 weeks, I was like, I'm gonna go insane. I'm literally gonna go insane. I don't know what to do. Every night's like a struggle. Every night going to bed, like the thought of going to bed, the thought of my bedroom just made me like panic and like freak out and not even want to go. So I got to the point where it was a Wednesday, I remember, and I was so sad. I was at work, actually. I work with people with disabilities, and it's like an awesome job. So I'm able to we're all kind of family there, And my aunt was there, and she was trying to help me through it. And I was just like, something's wrong. Like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, you had to figure it out. You know what I mean? And it was almost one of those things where like, I was like, I know, but like, I don't know how to figure it out. So I don't know what to do. Like, you know what I mean? I was just felt so helpless.
Yeah.
So I was just like crying and, the whole thing. And that night I just was like, I need to do something about this. Like, somebody's got to be feeling how I feel. Somebody's have had to go through this before. And it was just like desperate. So I was just YouTubing or Googling and YouTubing, like, sleep, help me. Like, I don't sleep. I can't sleep.
Yeah.
And the first video that popped up was the sleep coach school video and Daniel. And I literally, like, I don't know if, like, I'm spiritual. And I at the moment, like, in that time, I was just like, please send me something to help me. Like, I don't know what to do to get out of this. And that night, it was the first video that popped up. And literally, as soon as I started listening, I just, like, deep dived, like, pretty much watched every video I could, recovery video. I was like, oh my God, I'm not alone. Like, there's other people that feel this way. I'm not crazy. Like,
So
so
validating, right?
yeah, I slept 9 hours that night after that because I
Really
felt
common.
so relieved. Yeah, I felt so relieved. And I was like,
Yeah.
I
Like,
just
it
felt like it was,
demystifies it all, and you understand you're not alone, and just that alone can take down the hyperarousal. So much pressure is
yes.
relieved. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like I was
Totally.
heard, and like, I felt like people understood me, and I wasn't just this like crazy person that has lost their mind.
Yeah.
So it was honestly just like my saving grace. And it took a while. I mean, not that long. Honestly, like, after watching a lot of recovery videos, I feel like so blessed that I was able to, like, this happened in end of April, and it's the beginning of September, or
Right.
middle of September.
Relatively short time frame there.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like, compared to others, I feel very, very blessed and like lucky almost that, like, I was able to find the channel and like learn the things I needed to learn. And I had some like background knowledge anyways because of my struggles in the past. So I think that might have helped. But like, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, like, it's just been such a blessing to have that. I thought I was never going to get out of that situation.
Yeah, I do totally understand. So you basically found the content that night. It was like
Mm-hmm.
a sign almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
and you deep dive into all the content, all the recovery videos, and just the
Hmm.
education. And it sounds like that really helped just demystify and make you feel not so alone, and that this is happening to other people, and there is an explanation, and all of that. So it sounds like it really, through that, is what kind of started the recovery process. And
Yes.
did you continue with that? Did you join the immunity program, or was it just through the YouTube education?
No, I joined the immunity program. Well, I know I joined the app, like
Okay, BedTyme.
BedTyme. Yeah, I
Yeah,
joined the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
BedTyme app, and then
Nice.
I signed up to have a coach. So I had Veronica, who was
Yes,
awesome. She was
she's
so
amazing.
awesome.
Coach Veronica,
Yes.
shout out.
She is like so awesome. And throughout all of this too, which I think might have onset my anxiety in the first place, is that like we have decided to start trying to have a baby in the last like month or so. But before all of that, it was like me leading up to like um wanting to have a baby and like all of that. And it just kind of, it's anxiety ridden and all of that. It's super exciting. But when this whole sleep thing started, I was like, I can't do that. Like, I can't, you know, even try to do that right now because
Right,
I'm not okay,
right.
and the baby won't be okay and all that stuff. And Veronica, that was like one of the things that she had talked about a lot about in her videos, but also helped me through with my situation also. So she was super helpful and like very knowledgeable and able to really kind of like give me the details needed when I needed it, like laid it all out. So I reached out to a lot about just certain things and almost just like validating me, like knowing like it's okay, like that's normal, or like, yep, that's completely normal. That's all right. It's going to take time, like be patient. And
Yes.
that helped a lot, is just the validation of it all for me. So yeah, I had the BedTyme app. I had it for about 2 months, I think, where I had her as a coach. So she
Nice.
helped me through those 2 months a lot. And obviously it went up and down a lot. Like I really had to practice it. Like the the main videos from Daniel that were so helpful for me in particular was the one about befriending wakefulness,
Hmm.
and just not being afraid to not to be tired the next day. Those
Yeah.
were the two things that really helped me, because practicing befriending wakefulness was like, it almost got like exciting for me. Not exciting, but almost like this thing I had to like, I was like, okay, I have a goal. Like I need to just like, if I can't sleep, I'm just gonna cozy up and watch. I really love the show Nashville, that I've seen
Hmm.
like so many times. It's
It
just a
is
comfort
really
show.
good.
It's so, yeah, it's so cute and like whatever. So it makes me feel, it's a comfort show for me.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I would just told myself, I was like, if I don't, and we have a really sweet English lab dog, um, Labrador or lab, sorry, retriever, lab
Hmm.
retriever. And she's so sweet, and she sleeps on the couch. So every night that I had issues sleeping, I would just like get up and go on the couch, and I would be like almost not excited, but almost like, okay, I'm gonna watch my show and like lay with my dog and
Yeah.
try to make it like positive, like instead of being so afraid of it. And
Right.
the more
Showing
I practiced,
that you're really okay. Yeah.
yeah, like showing that it's okay. Like if I'm awake, it's not,
Yes.
I'm okay.
That's
Um,
amazing.
so it really helped me, and over time, but then I got too in my head, like I'm very detail oriented with certain things. And I was like, well, what if I don't want to get out of bed, but like I can't sleep, but
Hmm.
like I would love to just like lay here. And then I would like text Veronica or message Veronica, and I'd be like, is it okay just to like stay in bed if and she's
Yeah.
like, honestly, it's okay to do anything as long as you feel like it's okay. Like as long
Exactly.
as you feel calm about it in a sense, or
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
that you don't feel like you have to escape that situation. If you just want to lay there and rest, that's fine. If you want to get up and watch a show, that's fine. She also
Yeah.
said something along the lines of like that she would at night sometimes she would go out in her garden and like look up at the stars, and like it was almost like she was in this like other universe that was like beautiful. And so that way of her describing it for me was almost like this, it was like a happy thing instead of like this really scary thing, which
Yeah.
it was so scary at the time that I was like, it's all about fear, which is the biggest thing that I've
It
realized.
is. Yeah, it's all about that underlying fear that keeps that cycle going. Once the
Yeah.
brain understands that we are okay, can turn
Hmm.
off the alarm bells. Yeah. Sounds like it really, yeah, it really started to click for you.
Yeah, it did. And it was like a lot of it. I watched a couple of the recovery videos that really helped to, like Elena and
Alina. Mm-hmm.
Alina. And
Coach,
there was another girl that has blonde hair that does the other videos too. I forget her name.
Coach
Mm,
Michelle.
Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle and Alina. And then I also watched this video from this guy, Cash. That was, I think his name is Cash. That was good. And he talked a lot about how it's all about fear.
Mhm.
Don't focus on the sleep, focus on the fear. And like that really spoke to me because I was like, oh yeah, like why am I trying so hard to sleep when I should be realizing that a lot of this is just fear based. Like as soon
Yeah.
as I'm not afraid of not sleeping anymore, then the sleep will just come naturally, which is what they all say. But it's a lot easier said than done in the moment. It just takes a lot of training your brain. It's basically training your brain to go back to that. And it takes time and you need to be patient with it, which I have a really tough time with patience, especially with myself.
Yeah.
So I was really trying hard to just like stay steady and a lot of ups and downs. And, as soon as I started to really think about the fear part of it instead of the sleep, that's when things started clicking a lot. And that's when I knew it was like sustainable. Like that's when I knew that I don't want to say like recovered, but like at the time I knew that I could control it because it's just me. It's just my thoughts. And like to not take your thoughts so seriously is like the biggest thing really for me. I think like any thought is just
Yeah.
a thought. It's
Yeah.
not doesn't mean it's real. It doesn't mean it's
Don't believe
legitimate.
everything we think. It's
Yes, don't believe everything we think.
just that
It's
third
hard.
brain. Yeah. The
Yeah.
second part of our brain trying to
Mhm.
warn us. Yes. Because it thinks
Yes.
there's danger when it's actually not a life threatening experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does take
Yeah.
time. I resonate with so much of your story. It sounds, yeah, super familiar to my
Yeah.
recovery too. So if you could kind of travel back in time and, when you were really struggling and tell yourself something, then what would you say to that, to
I
self?
would say to the biggest thing is to be kind to yourself, like everybody says, but really, truly, it is like, don't say, like, I used to talk to myself, like, why are you like this? Why are you not sleeping? What is wrong with you? Like, all those things. And it's like, your brain is actually doing what it should do right now, like,
Right.
or what it thinks it's right. And, like,
Doing his
it's
job.
working. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's doing its job. It's
Yeah.
basically thinking, like, this is, this, what is it, the grizzly fear instead of the grizzly bear. And it's like, it's doing its job. So, like, you know, acknowledge it and accept it and be nice to yourself and be patient. And the other thing is like I started like looking up a lot of Alan Watts YouTube videos and things like that because I've
Mhm.
actually heard from another recovery video that was something. And I knew he was a great philosopher on that kind of thing and
Yeah.
the mind and everything. So one of the things that resonated with me that he had said is like if you see a ghost and you run away, it's going to chase you. But if you see a ghost and you go towards it or go through it, it disappears. And it's
Right.
like it's just fear. Like if you feel that fear and you're scared of it, just let yourself like feel and
Mm.
think and not take it so seriously. Just know that they're just thoughts and it's just your mind protecting you and
Yeah.
that it will take time to reprogram your brain. Like it literally is a reprogramming of your brain. And it's like even now, like I wouldn't say I'm like, I think like recovery, the being recovered for me, it's like I don't know, it's just one of those things where like it doesn't bother me anymore. So I wouldn't say I don't know if I'm like recovered or whatever it is, but even if I don't sleep well one night, I know it's okay. Like I'm
Yeah.
not good. I'll be fine the next day. And like I've been through that and you know,
You know
I
you
was
can
fine.
handle it now. And that's the
Yeah.
difference. No, that's really how we think of recovery is this okayness. It's
Hmm.
not that everything is perfect because that's not even life. Life is up and
Yeah.
down. But knowing that we can handle it and we're going to be okay. And
Hmm.
that deep-rooted sense of that is really where recovery lies. So that's so beautiful. You've shared
Hmm.
so much insight here and this is going to help so many people. And I just have one more question for you, and it's this. Have you found this experience has helped you in other areas of your life, right? Outside of insomnia? Has it impacted other areas
Yes,
in
I definitely
silver
do
lining
think.
ways?
Yes, honestly, like it has helped me so much with the idea of being fearful of anything, including my health anxiety stuff. Like, it has truly helped me know that, like, a lot of times when I start feeling that fear of even like pregnancy, like, even worry, like, being fearful of anything that could go wrong or any, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
any health scare, any situation, that it's just made up fear in your brain and your mind and your thoughts. And at the end of the day, it doesn't mean it's real. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just your mind trying to protect you from what could happen, but you don't have to feed into it. You don't have to, think it's going to happen and believe it. You can just move on and accept it and allow it to come. Just be like, oh yeah, that's a thought. That's my mind just like that's my brain protecting me or trying to protect me. Thank you, brain. I'm good. You can move on now, and like let it float away. And then over time, the longer and the more you do that, less times those thoughts will come, and you just really have to practice it, just like you practice running for a marathon. Like, you need to
Yeah.
practice your muscles. You got to practice that brain muscle just over and over and over and over.
So well said. I find that it was really true for me as well. It was about consistency and repetition. Yes. And just
Mm-hmm.
keep responding, in that way. And eventually it gets to that part of the brain, the brainstem, where the rewiring happens and the reprogramming
Yeah.
occurs. So that was so helpful. I just so appreciate you taking the time to share your story with us and to benefit our community with your insights. Do you have anything else to add? I mean, I just think it was just such a insightful.
Thank you. No, I'm just so happy that I was able to kind of give back, because when I found the videos and when I found the channel, and it really truly it was like a blessing. Like, it saved me. It really did. I don't know how I would have gotten out of it. Just having the knowledge and having people to be able to see this and see all the other videos and learn is just going to help everybody,
Yeah,
and cure
100%.
everybody with from it, whatever it is. It's just so helpful. So I'm hoping that this helps somebody out there, and that's mainly the reason I wanted to do it, because
Oh,
you
it
know
absolutely will. It's so inspiring when you hear other people have been where you are in the struggle and that they've left it. And it's more about exactly what you said, is just knowing that this is the scared thoughts, all of this is just it's part of ourselves, right? We don't have
hmm
to fear this part of ourselves. It's safe to experience those thoughts. We just have to allow that process to happen gradually. Yeah.
yeah, and just know it takes time. Like, just keep at it, and just let it go, and you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
be
It just
patient with
it
yourself.
does take time. It
Yeah.
absolutely does. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, like, I relatively did it. I feel like I got out of it pretty quickly compared to
Yeah.
others, but
Yeah.
that's because I like really learned from you guys so quickly. Like, luckily I was able to find the channel, and a lot of people that have went through it, it was
Right. It
before
takes
the
them a
channel
long
had even got going, really. So it's like,
takes a long time to find us too. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
exactly. So being able to have had that, I just felt like it was important to give back and know that people can get through it.
Yes. Yeah. This is so inspiring. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
being here,
you.
Maria. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Really, really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much. It was great to meet you, and I hope this helps.
You too. It will help so many people. Thank you
Okay, good.
so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Hi there, it's me, Coach Daniel, and I hope it is obvious to you to what degree we at the Sleep Coach School really try to to put out content that will help you on your path to peaceful sleep and peace of mind. And I hope you really enjoyed the video that you just watched. Now, some people don't learn the best by watching videos, but rather by reading. And I wanted to share a little tip with you. The books that most people really talk about having helped them is This Is Nato and Set It and Forget It. But I think most people miss out on my personal favorite, which is Tales of Courage. All of my books are available on Amazon. But Tales of Courage is special because in Tales of Courage, we've taken 26 success stories from the channel, and we've taken sort of the most powerful language, the most inspirational and educational parts of those interviews and put them in a book. And I think it is really, really so strong, so powerful when you read those words from other people who left the struggle. And that's my little tip to you. Tales of Courage, I think, is a great book, and it's available on Amazon, of course. So if that's appealing to you, you can head over there and get a copy. But more than anything else, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel, and can't wait to see you again. Bye for now.